to play the game.
You have that gut feeling inside of you to make a difference.
And you said that like,
is this like it? I was
yeah. So it's just a conversation.
I didn't know if you do like an action. I'm so
no, just a conversation.
That was your blooper.
Yeah, I want to tell you before we start, like, the people that I'm choosing to interview is not like I'm like, oh my God, I just want to interview them for the sake of interviewing them. It's or the sake of having a conversation. It's like I get this weird like feeling like when I'm talking to people to where I'm just like, damn, I'm truly inspired by that person. Right. I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. Sometimes it could be just like the stuff that we're talking about before, as far as like acts of kindness, as far as protecting your network. I think that that's really important. I think that's amazing of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I really.
I won't like, no. Just, no, these are kind, beautiful people in here. Like,
yeah, no, and I think I can learn a lot from that, because there's sometimes where I just want to say, you know what, the people that I'm connected with, you know, it is what it is. That's their perspective, even though they're kind of like hateful times. But that's one thing that I just picked up from you before we start recording is, you know, to do a better job and to be mindful of who you allow in your network, because it represents you. And I think that's
yes.
Yeah.
I've said it on the post, and I've said something like, just remember, as much as I represent you, you represent me. I actually said that in the post.
Yeah, so I got some cleaning up to do.
Yeah, and you have to do what's right. And this is why I drop tips to my network. And someone introduced us. And then it was so cute because Davina and I are like sisters. And she's like, you got to meet Tony. I'm like, I know Tony.
Oh, did she really? Yeah, she's cool. I reached out to her too.
That box that the three of us that she created in DM. I was like, I know Tony.
Yeah. So
she's a sister.
Yeah, I invited her to have a conversation with me too, because I was looking at my phone. I don't know if it was a post that she made or somebody else made it or whatever, but she was accepting an award. And she got on the stage. I'm about to cry right now just thinking about it.
Oh, she's my sister. She's been on the show multiple times.
Has she? Yeah, she's an amazing person. Yeah, she got on the stage and she was talking about, you know, her accepting herself. She was talking about the things that she had went through. Talking about like her self-image, and like I just resonated with me so much, and I was just like, oh my God, I have to talk to her just like yourself.
She stands in her truth. You should. Okay, so you haven't seen the video her and I did together. Okay, I will send that to you. We did too. We did one about women, and that women need to support each other, stand together, lift each other up, and the responsibility women have on social media. Like, you know, not, you know, posting videos of women in a thong and doing stuff like I see what women post on the weekend, and I'm like, you're not and we talked about saying you're not helping your own gender. Like, you're not. Like, we know you're doing it for the likes, the views, the comments, and I'll send you the interview. You'll find it very good.
No, please do, because I often think about that, like, why? Like what's the point but behind like the, you know, I'm gonna show, like you said, my thong.
These are women posting other women doing this, and they're doing it for the like because the men go freaking crazy, so they're, you know, their feeds like but we spoke to and said, look, what do you know, we're two women on social media, we don't do this, stop doing it.
You're killing it.
And we're like, and so I'll send you the video. We're like, No,
and that's a good point. And that's a good point. I think a lot of people need to look at that. Like, you two are literally killing it on social media, but you're not doing all of that. You're killing it because you're showing your true self. And I really believe that the people that are doing that, I don't really feel like that's what they really want to be portrayed in the public. I got a feeling that they're hiding behind something.
Well, me and Davina were like, because she's been on the show. We're gonna keep doing it. I've done her show, and we finally said, that's it. We gotta do something about this, and we filmed a 9-minute video and said, women, we're gonna call you out. This is not for the men. This is for the women. What are you doing to our gender? Stand behind it. And we have enough things trying to pull us down. So I'll send it to you. It was a feisty conversation. It was great.
I love that because
it was great because of her and I and our sisterhood, because we were just like,
yeah. That's funny, because I think she's the next person I'm getting ready to talk to, and that is, I love that topic because that's something I often think about, like within myself. Like this morning, I was going through my feed, and you know how they say, if you look to the right of your screen, it'll say other people that other people have searched for, and then
right.
like a list of people. And for some reason, I didn't realize that you can like turn that off. I turned it off because I would always see like the people in like bikinis and, you know, like
that's good.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't want people to think that that's what I'm looking at or represent.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I will tell you some really funny stories later.
All right.
I'll teach you some memorable things. Yeah.
Yeah, but I turned it off. I turned it off, and I'm happy about that. But one thing that, like with this show, and I was telling you about, like I'm not like inviting everybody, you know, because they're a big influencer, which you are. Like, you're killing the game, as I said before. And
I'm grateful. I love them.
Yeah, and I think
I pick and choose, Tony. I pick and choose too. That's what I do. I pick and choose who I want on the show. They have to, you know, motivate and inspire. I'm trying, you know, I've been doing my show since March, so almost a year, and it's to lift up and inspire my network, because I want to educate my network. So who I'm bringing on, like the woman who's on today, my friend Tess, she's talking about interview tips because she's in that field and how to do it. So I'm just like you. It's like, okay, Tony has this message. She wants to inspire. I'll wear that shirt where'd you get that? Amazon?
No, it's actually a shirt that I made.
Did you create the hashtag?
Yeah, I did. I didn't create the hashtag, but I guess
Tony, woo! Because that's one of my favorite hashtags.
Yeah, I've been using it for quite a while, and I love that word. It just, when I hear the word inspire, it just makes me smile, because.
All right, so I'll tell you what. What's your other favorite one? Because I'll order one in. I love inspire hashtag motivation.
Yeah, inspire, motivation, adversity.
I use diversity. And I use. You don't know that one?
Which one?
Hashtag diversity.
Yeah, I use that one quite a bit.
And I use diversity matters. That's the other one I use.
Yeah. Those are probably my favorite hashtags. But,
and do you have one for you?
Yeah, Tony Taylor inspires.
Okay, Okay, so how's that going?
I think it's going good. I think
good.
It's going good. I mean, I think it's going good. I guess.
Yeah, I've been using mine. It was like a year and a half ago. My friend was like, make the hashtag. I'm like, what? He's like, make the hashtag. And I do. And then like once in a while I'll say, please follow, but it's there because I'm using it, for the branding. And then my friend was like, you need to just start, you do your show every day. Just get a shirt made saying hashtag Rachel Beck. And that's all you gotta do.
I love that.
Yeah, but I really need to order it. I haven't done it yet.
Maybe that'll be a good Christmas gift. That I can send you. But like I said, I was doing some research and I saw that you have a book, and I read the back of it, and I want to get into it. But one thing that resonated with me was what I thought about initially was the word adversity. The whole time I read it, it was just like adversity. And I just was like, see, that's what it is. Like, I can sense that you've gone through adversity in your life just by the way that you talk to people, the way that you treat people. Like, you're very grateful for the things that you have. You're very grateful for your network, very grateful to be in the position that you're
I
in.
was died 3 times in my life, so I have a very different perspective on life.
You said you almost, what, 3 times in your life?
Died 3
Oh,
times.
wow. Do you
So-
feel like talking about that a little bit, or?
Yeah, we could talk about that.
Okay.
But I mean, so I've had all these different experiences, and so I come from a very different place of been there, done it, gotten back up, and I share those stories with my network to keep them going. That was really, really important for me.
Yeah.
And I tell them the truth. I'm like, I own all my stories and say, every day is not rainbows and unicorns. Every day is not sunshine. And if me sharing this story helps somebody else, then I did the right thing.
I love that, because you realize that when people, I know you do this, you realize that people look at you as this larger than life personality that's perfect.
Yeah, and I tell them I'm not. I did a post when it came out, like, I'm like, my name is Rachel Beck. I'm not perfect. I'm flawed. I have imperfections. And I did hours to read it again. My whole network was like, whoa, and that's what I wrote. I'm not. I'm like, and I tell them that. I'm like, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. And I own that. I'm okay with that. I don't want anybody to ever think of me as perfect, Tony, ever. Not one bit. I don't think people are perfect. I don't think perfection exists. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. I'll get messages from people. I think I did a couple videos and I said, I'm gonna do this video in one take. And then I kept doing it, and then it was just, I kept doing it. I was screwing this video up. I couldn't say a word, and I'm like stuttering, and it was just it was a horrible like filming experience. And I was just, when I got done, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna post this video, because all I can think about was the people that are afraid to make videos, that want to make videos, but they think that they need to be perfect. They think that they need to be polished, right?
Oh, I drop videos when there's a problem. I had one with 3 of our friends, but the conversation was so powerful, but we were having technical difficulties, and so I kept the video. And then I had one. I just did it with 3 of my friends in Africa. Right, I just filmed them. And I dropped it last week, we had a lot of technical difficulties with these guys in the middle of Africa, like trying to get their story out. So I think it's important that they see it. And of course, you always have that one person. Big thing we wrote, sorry, I put in the comments, we had technical difficulties, but the conversation was too strong to let it go. You've always got the one person. Do you know that you had some technical difficulties? And I wrote back, I'm like, we do the best that we can. We're not perfect, but like you, I kept it in for that exact lesson, that it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah, I feel like that's way powerful, right? Just like if we're recording right now, like we're all like at home, just like if we're recording,
chilling.
If my dog walked in the room right now and jumped up.
My dog barks. My dog's like, right now it's like underneath me eating a bone, but he's barked. And the reality is what I've noticed since the pandemic, people don't expect perfection anymore. They don't. They know that we're home. I've worked from home for 15 years, so that has a huge adjustment for me.
I've dreamed of working from home for 15 years.
Oh, I love it. I get a lot done. I can't. It's peace to me.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna ask you, like, through everything that you've been through, right? Everything that you've been through, and I was reading the excerpt from your book. What made you like decide to share that? Because I think it's so easy to keep all the personal stuff like inside of you and let that drive you and that be kind of like a motivational like factor for you, like to get you going in your life and for you to keep going, like you don't forget that. Like what made you decide to share that?
In the book or on social media?
And well, both.
Okay, the book actually came from an idea of one of my girlfriends. Her and I had met in India, traveled back, and then she met me when I was there again because she was traveling in India. And she said, Rachel, we were just talking, and she said, I really feel like you have a powerful story and you need to share it with the world. I said, what are you talking about? I said, I'm not an author. I was running my photography business at the time. She said, do me a favor. Sit down at the computer and just try it. The first day I wrote 5 hours. The second day I wrote 5 hours. So I started my book in like August. It was done by October. Okay, it was 5 hours. And I called her and I said, you're right. And she said, about what? And she said, I had a story inside of me. She goes, I know, I'm your friend. You didn't see it. But she had planted that seed.
Right.
And so I had started the beginning of the book tour in 2018 and was going around, speaking and to connect with people. And the book had just come out literally while I was on the book tour. And I was supposed to be up and down this East Coast this past summer. And obviously everything changed and will be digital this year. Mm-hmm. I made a conscious choice to share it on social media too, because I don't want people to feel ashamed.
Yeah.
I had PTSD. I'm not ashamed of that. I battled infertility. I'm not ashamed of it. I had battled disease for 20 years. I don't have any more. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not ashamed that I had a miscarriage. I'm not ashamed that I had a failed adoption. And these are things a lot of people don't talk about. Right. I'm not ashamed I had to have a hysterectomy 3 years ago. I'm not ashamed of any of it. And if it makes that one person feel better about any of those subjects, and usually when I drop something like really big and personal, like the response is huge. People go, thank you for sharing. And I said, look, I shared this to help somebody. Every Mother's Day, I do a post, Mother's Day and Father's Day. I do a post for the rest of the people saying, I know today this is a very hard day for the infertility community, for the miscarriage community. And I celebrate my mother, I celebrate my aunt, but I'm like, today's for you. Because I know that this day is thrown like in your face. It's nonstop with the cards from Easter, April to May. And so I'm trying to do stuff like that. I call it like the Un-Mother's Day post. I'll send it to you when it comes out in May. But it's for that community. I know what they've been through. I know what it's like you miscarried and then Mother's Day is all over the place in every store and you can't handle it, or Father's Day. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. No, I think on social media, it does, like, we don't often think about the people that, don't have parents or have lost parents, lost loved ones. And I think that's always a good reminder, that you're not alone, you're not struggling alone, and like, we got your back, we're there with you. I think that is amazing. And I mean, because you see certain stuff and it tugs at your heart. And that's one thing that I love about your story and I love about you, is that you're very transparent.
Yeah, who I am is who I am. Yeah. I want to be a voice for the adoptee community. That's really important to me. From being adopted, I was blessed and adopted by an incredible family. But there's a tremendous amount of emotions about adoptees. So that's another reason why I wrote like one chapter just to adoptees and people who've adopted and said. And there's this disclaimer saying, look, I'm not in the medical field, I'm not a therapist, I'm just sharing my experience. Yeah. That's something I'm very passionate about. I'm passionate about India. I'm passionate about the orphanage. Yeah. I'm deeply passionate about that.
Because you were born in India and adopted by a family here in America, correct?
Yeah, I was adopted when I was 11 months old. And I go back, the first time I went back was in 2013, and then I went back in 2015. And like part of the proceeds of the book are actually going back to the orphanage. I made that conscious choice when I was writing the book. I said, I remember looking at the window going, what can I do to help the orphanage? And this is what I decided.
Wow.
It's really
So,
important.
were you able to visit that orphanage?
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Oh
It's my family. Like the minute I step back, as being home, Tony. There's the only way to explain it. I have two homes, America and India. I have my Indian family there. You know, not blood, but we're family.
Yeah.
It was a spiritual awakening for me.
Yeah.
And I had the same exact experience when I went back in 2015.
Wow. That says a lot. I think one thing that I think about quite often is, like, I've had friends that have gone through like similar experiences to where they were adopted, and I'll never forget in high school, one of my friends, he was just ranting and raving, and he was just, they're not my real parents anyway. I don't know why they're this or why they're that, and I'm just like, wait a minute, like, let's.
Those are common emotions, though.
Yeah, and I got it, and I understand, and I understand it. But I just thought about, because my background is this. When I was born, my mom and my dad, they weren't together. They were like pretty much, I was that last moment, or they had already decided that they were going to get a divorce, and my father wasn't in my life, wasn't in the picture. But I did have a stepfather. He came into my life, and for the longest, I remember the day that my mom and dad, my mom and my stepdad, or it might have been just my mom, told me that he was not my real dad, but my stepdad. And that made me appreciate him so much more, because I'm like, we're not the same blood, right? We're not the same blood, but here I am, receiving this love from you that I know that is genuine and is like very authentic. And I'm just like, there's no way that you're not my real father. Have you ever had those moments where you just like, just appreciate it, like, just like can't believe it, like, oh my God, like you guys.
Well, I'm very. This is okay. So this is really interesting to me. So I've talked about this too, about because I had my parents on the show, so everybody got to meet them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had him on the show, and I did it on Father's Day to say meet my dad. So he was great, but family is not blood, and that was the topic of discussion. That's what I wanted to get across, that and then people jumped in like, oh, I have an adoptive kid, or I'm fostering this child, and then my stepson, and it was great to hear all the stories. I loved it. My parents are behind me 100%, no matter what I want to do when it comes to my roots, that they know that that's important to me. This is what I'll share with you. This is a problem, and this is why I've never felt like a stranger in my own family. My parents never once called me their adopted child. I'm their child. And that is a big mistake that people, when they adopt children, they do that. And I know, because I had to call my friend out on it. She had introduced me and said, oh, this is my adopted daughter, and said the name. And I talked to her later and said, how come you just didn't say her name? And then she said, how am I supposed to? I said, introduce her as your daughter. Because for me, that shaped a lot of my identity. I already have a ton of identity issues to begin with, from, giving up all that stuff. What happens is, and I'll be brutally honest with you, this is what happens to me. People tell me all the time, and it's, you need to be grateful that you were adopted and pick and you were chosen. And people say to my parents when I'm with them, and my mom responds and goes, you know what, we're grateful. And so she's never ever broke that. And it is constantly, Tony, it is something that breaks my soul when someone says it to me. You need to be grateful. Why? And I did a post about this. Why is it that adopted children should be grateful? Are biological children grateful? Pushed or forced to be grateful? And it's just, I hear it all the time. And the beginning of my life, I had no say in it. I had nothing in it. I was moved from one person to the next person to the next person until I was adopted. I had zero control over my life. So and people do it, they still do it to me. You're so lucky. And no, I'm grateful, but please understand, they automatically think like, well, you should they do that. You should be really, and I'm not, that's exactly how they do it.
Like they're gonna educate you. Well, let me educate
Let me
you.
tell you, I've been adopted. I'm going on 45 this year. Yeah, I'm fully aware. So I'm trying to educate that community as well. It's a guilt that people are putting on adoptees that is unnecessary by making a comment. It's unnecessary.
Wow, I've never thought about that. I think that goes along the same realm as, like, I'll be in the store, I'll be talking to somebody, because I talk to everybody. I'll just like be in the grocery store. Hey, what's up, man? Your kid's so cool. And then they'll be like, yeah, that's my stepdaughter. And I'm always taken back by that. And just, I've never, said, hey, why won't you just do that? And I think, like, if it was like with my friends, I would like open up and just say, hey, when you say that, you're kind of like isolating the kid. And kind of going back to what you were saying, you're making them feel as though they should be like happy or whatever, you know what I mean? But there's a separation there.
There's a separation, and my parents didn't do it, and that made, if they had done it once, it would have that would have shaped the whole relationship. And for 18 years, I just told them 2 years ago, I'll be honest with you, 2 years ago, I just told them for 18 years, I was worried I was going to be returned. Not because of anything I said, not because, and I put it in the book too, I don't know if I did, but not of anything that I said or did, but that's how I felt. Those were my adoptee emotions, and I'm okay with it. But I was concerned about that. And they didn't do anything to make me feel that way. Finally, they told them that, and they said, why didn't you come to us? We weren't going to, return you. That wasn't, I said, I didn't know how to say it.
Yeah. That's the reason that you guys can have that conversation, right? And
they opened the door.
Yeah.
They created the space for me when I was 3 years old, obviously because of them being white, brown hair, brown eyes. It was very, very young when I said, how come you look this way? It was very innocent. How come you look this way? I look that way. Yeah. And they explained it. And then it was always there. That opportunity was, Rach, if you ever want to come to us, if you have questions. And they said they learned, they read the book and they learned a tremendous amount, about my feelings, my emotions. And I've talked to them about it. And they'll say, hey, is there anything you want to talk about? And they know that it's a deep personal journey that doesn't belong to anybody but the person who's going through it. Yeah. And when people cross the line and say, you should feel this way, you should feel that way, it's offensive. It's an offensive.
What do you think, like, as a parent, because I'm pretty sure a lot of parents, deal with this, as with having kids, kids that they adopted, or children that are their children now because of marriage. Like, what do you think is like the best way to support that kid
in that environment? Mm-hmm. Don't exclude them. There's so many blended families right now. I mean, this is the norm. We know that it's been around for a while. And I took a whole class in college just studying families and sociology. Don't exclude anybody. Don't say, it's like you and I being in a cocktail party, right? And we're mingling, we're networking, meeting people, and I go, oh, and this is Tony. And Tony, da-da-da-da. And you'd be like, Rach, just say I'm Tony Taylor. Tony, don't say my background information is unnecessary. That's exactly it. Then it's just, hi, this is my friend Tony Taylor. I would like to introduce you. Not, hey, Tony, and then introduce. You create the relationship that you want. You have a choice to include people in your family or to make them not feel included.
Yeah, I think
That is a conscious choice. My parents told me they made that conscious choice to make sure that I always felt included.
Oh my God, they sound like phenomenal people.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
We're close. We're very
When,
close.
when they were reading your book, did they like call you like in between it and say, "Hey, what's up with this?" Or
No. My parents. No, my parents. Let me say so. My parents are, behind me 100%. They have been. They got to, they went on the book tour. I invited them, and that like really, and that was huge for them to have that experience. And they're role models for me in a big way. I have 4 very strong mentors in my life. I'm saying off LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I have a lot of mentors. You know who you are, and I love you. But outside of LinkedIn, I have 4 powerhouse people who made it successful. They're giving back to this world, and they're my role models. They're my role models.
Yeah, that just goes to show you it's almost like we need people, like we need mentors. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and they're like, I don't need a mentor. I got this, I got it taken care of. And I'm just like, well, in mentorship, mentors, they can see your blind spots, right? They're the people that aren't just telling you, and I tell my kids this all the time, I'm not gonna just like, I am your biggest cheerleader. But
Right.
especially I'm your biggest cheerleader. But when we get home, I do want to talk about, some stuff that maybe we could have did better, candid with caring, right? And I like the idea of mentorship is because they're that person. There's some people that sometimes they feel like they're a little bit too big to have a mentor, which I think is a big mistake.
I'm grateful for in my 20s, I had this mentor. Okay. And I'll just say we worked in the same space. She had said something to me, and we had a really deep relationship. We worked together for 3 years, and she had said something to me so profound. Tony, it changed my life forever. And she said it very casually. We were working, and she walked by me. She said it, and she said, "Okay, Rach." I said, "Okay," and she kept walking. But it was so powerful. It was so, and like the mentors I have in my life now, I'm grateful for them.
Yeah.
I truly, they are people who empower other people. They are people who see something inside of you that you never saw inside yourself. And that's what my mentors have done for me.
I love that. You can't just skip over that. What was it?
Well, what? The 20 years ago?
No, the words that she said that was so impactful. Because if it inspired you, I'm pretty sure that it'll inspire everybody else. That's why I'm asking.
Okay. Okay. She just basically said, I'll cut it down a little bit. She basically said, how did she say it? She said, like, I know what she kind of said. I'll paraphrase it. I'll cut some. I know where you're supposed to be and where you're supposed to go. And just promise me, it was around that. Ooh. And I was like, wait. Yeah, it was a little more in depth. I'm going to keep that.
Yeah.
No, but it was the way she said it. And it was very powerful. And she said, just make me that promise. I said, I will. And it took me, I was like 20 when she said this, our brain isn't even developed till 25.
Yeah.
And right. So, and I kept thinking about it. And then I got it like years later.
Wow.
And she was talking about stepping into the life that I was either meant to be. And she was telling me that at 20 thing. And she was saying, like, step into where you're supposed to be. And to tell a 20-year-old that. And she was double my age at the time. She was in her 40s. And I loved her like a big sister. So those words can be really... I might not have gotten it till my 30s. Like, I really thought about her statement for years.
Ooh.
And then, like, my mentors now who I love in my heart. There's a reason why they're there. We all need help. I tell my network all the time.
Yeah.
We need people need help. We all do.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because I can remember like those moments like that, where whether it's like a coworker, whether it's a friend, whether it's a relative, whether it said something and it just like spoke to my soul, and I could be like washing the dishes, halfway washing the dishes, and they're like, dude, you're more than this. Everything that you do, you should put your all into it. You should do it with a happy heart. Like, I hear this kind of stuff from people before, and they don't even necessarily have to be a mentor, but that just proves that if you drop a seed, right, it doesn't necessarily mean that the tree is going to grow up, that same day or even that same week or even that same decade, but you're planting a seed. And I think that
I've had some core people in my life plant some seeds.
Yeah.
Core. And I'm grateful that they did. I'm really grateful. And now I want to pay it forward, and I'm trying to motivate my network, keep them going.
What do you...
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was going to say, you were talking about seeds.
Yeah.
And then we paid forward, Tony. Right? So you and I were blessed because we've had those people plant seeds. And now what we're doing on social media, we want to plant those seeds forward to create that huge forest of motivation and inspiration and a no quit attitude.
Yeah.
That's what we want to create.
Yeah, because I agree. That's what it's about. It's about going through that adversity, right? And that's why I love your story so much, is because you're an example to people all across the world. Like, you can go through so much, but that doesn't necessarily defines you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be stuck in that place. It means that, yeah, this is part of my past, but I'm going to make it positive. If there was one thing that, let's say somebody said, hey, Rachel, what's your legacy? What do you think like your legacy would be?
That you touched on my biggest heart topic.
Oh.
My legacy is deeply important to me. I've had 5 parents, right? The 2 biological, the mom who died, the father I'm looking for, my 2 parents. Then I have the woman, God bless her, who took me in to her home when the orphanage was being built. So I've had 5 parents, and she took care of me. Every day I get up, I think of those 5 parents. I feel that they all made a choice when it comes to me. None of them. There's a choice. Are you going to take this girl when I was dropped off? Yes. Are you going to adopt this girl? Yes. My legacy is really important to me. I want to leave, a huge footprint of positivity versus negativity. I have a dream that I'm trying to achieve financially, that I want to donate to the orphanage, and I've done fundraisers, for them before. It's huge for me to, and I will not quit till I hit that goal. And I can say that, and I can feel that through my whole body right now. It's extreme. It's where I come from. It's where my roots started. It's where, my mom lost her life because of me. Think about how that affects somebody.
Yeah.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about that.
Wow.
It is a huge response. I don't know her name. I've never seen a photo of her. I do know my biological father's name. I can't stand my birthday. I don't even talk about it because I have like the guilt associated, because like I know the date. Yeah, it was like I know the date that, because she had died 2 days later. So I can't stand my birthday. Get up, go through the day, and I'm done. It's deeply important to me. It's deeply important to me. Dying 3 times. And one of my friends was doing research on me for her. She was getting her social work. And after the 3rd experience, because ironically, I was with her through the paper, all these experiences were happening different times in my life. And my friend had said, oh, you're doing a paper on this. Call my friend Rachel and hear her story to help her with her social work degree. But when the third time happened, she was still in the interview process with me. And she said, okay, Rachel, you're done. You had your life saved 3 times. And she said, do you know the reason why? And I said, no. And she said, because you didn't finish your legacy. And she said that is exactly the reason why. That's the reason why. And so until I reach that goal, I'm not done.
Wow. Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome.
I'm gonna stop recording.
It's in my blood.
Yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility when you have, 5 parents.
Yeah.
When you have people who sacrifice their life, who sacrifice so you could get a better life. When I was dropped off to the founder of the orphanage, I was borderline comatose. And the woman who founded the orphanage was a nurse in the hospital. So she, took care of me, got the medical care. These are choices people made.
Yeah.
They could have said yes or no.
Wow.
They could have said that, and they didn't. So I feel like, not out of guilt, that I'm doing this. It's out of love. It's to say thank you for choosing to save my life. Thank you, all 5 of you.
I'm glad that you're here.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful to, and thank you for your kind words. You hit a very big topic for me. It's an important topic for me.
Yeah, legacy. Wow, I think you're doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Legacy. I definitely see you paying it forward. That is amazing. I really appreciate you for talking to me and being so open. I really believe that this conversation will help so many different people. Like I believe I'm like speechless right now. And
that was our goal, right? That was our goal. That's because you and I share the value of, we want to motivate people. We want to inspire people. We want them to go, okay, I can do this. I can get through this.
Yeah.
And there are things about my story I haven't even shared yet that I will be sharing that you'll go, I just read the back of her book and she's just sharing this and she's still standing.
Yeah.
When I get to that point, I'm getting there. Because I had some people reach out and said, we need to get, like this topic should be covered. And I said it's coming in 2021. It said it's coming, and it's going to have to come from me sharing my story to get other people to share their story. But that's why we're here, Tony, right?
Yeah.
We are put here as human beings to help each other. And during this, horrific year, let's call it that, because that's what 2020 was.
No, it has been.
It's been for everybody. It's our job as our community on social media to keep us going.
Yeah.
To keep us, we are a community, we are family. I have friends that I have been friends with like years now. These are friendships. And that's what I keep telling people, build the friendships.
Yeah, that's what it's about. I think
it is. And that's what people miss. I'll be honest with you, Tony. That's what they miss. They say, oh, it's a number. No, this is Tony Taylor. Take the time, get to know him.
Yeah.
And stop looking at us like we're a number, because we're not.
Right. Yeah, the numbers don't matter. I agree.
The people
do not matter.
It's the people.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And I look for, can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead. Of course.
I can't wait to have you on my show. I'm very excited.
I can't wait to be on. What we say, February 8th?
Yes.
Yeah. No, that was good.